Arsenal. There was Arsenal fans talking about invincibility, title contention, Old Trafford being a place that we're going to come to and win, going to batter United. EGAL, you're very self said that, Xhaka 10 times better passer of the ball than any Man United midfielder. You think you said in the combined 11, only one or two of our players could even get into your team. So it was a big day. Like Arsenal fans built it up. A lot of United fans believe they could win as well. The game didn't disappoint. I don't know what you guys felt as neutrals, but it felt like a good game of football, end to end, controversy, some great goals as well. EGAL though, how are you feeling now? 24 hours on from the humbling 3-1 defeat.
I don't think it was humbling. I think it was a lot closer. The scoreline was kind of flattering at the end because Mikel Arteta made substitutions that led to us conceding the third goal and being very weak in the back after making substitutions. But right now, I've looked back at it. I said to myself, we are not clinical, and we need to bury our chances a little bit better. Manchester United, credit to Rashford and Anthony, buried their dinner when they got their chances. And you know what? Eriksen proved me wrong. I got to give it up to him. I did not think he was going to have that type of performance in this game. I thought, especially if you didn't have Casemiro or someone solid, Scott McTominay really stepped up and showed a level that I haven't seen from him in a while. And you know what? As you said, Terry, this was probably one of the first big games this season, and it felt like it mattered so much more than like it's mattered over the last couple of years. So it was really good game to watch. But of course, I'm I would say disappointed in the result, but I'm still proud of the team because I felt like we played well.
What? Wait, sorry. What are you proud
You know
of?
the definition of humble?
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry.
I'm not. No, I gotta ask. Let me ask this question. Do you know what it means to be humble? Do you know what that like? Because to say it wasn't humbling is wild.
It wasn't, because at the end of the day, we still came and we dominated possession.
No. Here's the deal.
We lost. And I take the defeat, but it's not a humbling defeat.
No. So going into that game, EGAL, I'm gonna teach you what humbling means, because going into that game, I saw invincibles. I saw Arsenal gonna smash United. Hold on, no, I saw from you. Oh, Partey, I would take over Casemiro, a guy who's won way more in his career than Partey will ever get close to. I saw Xhaka as the best passer. I saw you leaving out United players. You left our center backs, people out of your main 11. You got humbled. That's the definition of it, because everything you were saying got completely destroyed. Like straight up, your midfield, at the end of the day, yes, you did control the game. It was a good game. I will say that. You played well. But we played better. You played into our hands. You think Erik ten Hag did not go into that game knowing that Arteta was going to play the exact same way? That stupid high line. He put Rashford and Bruno there, and he's like, yo, just wait for it. Just wait for it. You guys played in your shape for the first 20 minutes. We sat back. We saw how you're going to play. And literally Arteta got found out by a better manager, in my opinion. In my opinion, he got found out by a better manager. That is being humbled. If Arteta was not so egotistical and not so naive, he would not have played a super high line against one of, if not the best counterattacking team in the country. Like, what do you mean? That's the definition of being humble. Eat it.
No, listen, I'm not just gonna sit here and give you guys all these praises and then after say yes or no. I genuinely believe it was a closer game, and you guys are genuinely overdoing this thing where you're saying we got humbled. We did not get humbled. This was a close game. The scoreline was flattering to you guys at the end because Arteta made some mistakes. I get that, but this whole thing about where Erik ten Hag's a better manager than Arteta. Let's see.
What do you mean? Let's see. What do you mean? Oh my God!
Let's see how he does throughout the rest of the season. Let's see how he does with Manchester United. Because at the end of the day, I heard that Graham Potter is a better manager than him. I heard Eddie Howe is a great manager than him. I hear every single manager that everyone mentions next to Arteta. Put some respect on Mikel Arteta's name. What he's been able to do at Arsenal as of yet. And
what has he done though? What has Mikel Arteta done? You're saying put respect on his name. What has he done? What you finished? Yeah, you went from eighth, and then fifth. I get it. That's decent-ish, but he hasn't done anything for you to say put some respect on his name. Graham Potter, you see him with a very weak team. He lost his two best players. The guy's still balling out. Eddie Howe, you've seen the transition and the transformation of Newcastle. These guys are doing a lot. And yeah, you did get humbled because it's your first big test. Yeah, go on.
Let me ask you this: what does he have to do for you guys to? Because at the end of the day, you guys are never going to rate the manager.
No, if he gets top four, top four, and he wins the Europa League, we will rate him. We'll have to rate him.
You got to remember as well, Arsenal has spent the most money in Europe over the last 2 seasons. I was just going to say that. Like,
listen, Arsenal spent the most money. Manchester United spent 230 million this window.
We're talking about over the period Arteta's been here.
Yeah, over the course of the last 2 seasons, Arsenal have spent money.
Pump the brakes on talking about Arsenal's money spent when you got 2 other teams within the top 6 who.
However, EGAL, if we were held to your standards, you'd say that we were failures.
Bro, I'm not holding Chelsea to that.
Sorry. Egal, stop a minute, stop. How much money did the club spend in Wenger's last year and
you have to Google it, Terry. Do you want
the reason I'm saying is this is what Arsenal fans keep trying to do to Erik ten Hag, and it is wrong because you are literally hypocrisizing something that nearly every single Arsenal fan has sat on the terrace, forget outside this platform, that you've sat here and done. It's irrelevant what was spent before Arteta and what's spent after Arteta. Arteta can only be judged on what he has been given to spend. So the fact that Ten Hag inherited a good squad or a bad squad, yes, he spent 196 million. You've added all the add-ons on so far. They haven't been paid yet because we haven't achieved Champions League football or anything, right? So 200 million pounds has been spent. That's it. That's about half of what your manager has spent so far. So the expectations on Arteta after nearly 3 years of integrating his system, spending 300 to 400 million pounds and having a team which has got you all so excited and happy. And by the way, I've praised you guys. You are improving. I think you're a brilliant team. So the expectations have to be high. What I saw yesterday was a changing of Arsenal fans sitting there going, well, you guys have actually got loads of world-class players. You've got a really good squad. 4 weeks ago, before a ball was kicked, you guys were predicting us coming 6th, 7th. We had Gunnar Lee on the channel predicting us struggling to make it in the top 10. We beat you, and suddenly, actually, Man United are a really, really good team. Which is it? Like, that's the bit that annoys me. You're shaking your head, but that's exactly what you have done. Now, Arsenal, by the way, let me just say about your play yesterday. You guys played very well in terms of moving the ball forward. I'll kind of rewatch the game, and I've listened to other people in the last 24 hours. You played well, as in your play on the ball, your approach play was excellent. Your finishing was horrendous, and your defending was very, very silly. And the point of you saying we played really well until our manager made a mistake on the 70th minute, I mean, that's a bit like if that was the other way around and you made a mistake with the starting lineup and you were 3-0 down in the first 20 minutes, would you say that you played well? Like, your manager made a mistake. Like, you guys, I don't think the score was flattering to Man United. It only happened because your manager made a mistake. Like, that's a big thing. That's a big thing. So I think Arsenal's approach play was excellent, but there was a lot of naivety in that. And I think what would serve your players better would be to say, well done for your attempts. There's some mistakes that have been made here, and focus on your team getting better. But all I've really heard for 24 hours is deflection, refs, deflection. Look what Ten Hag's had to spend. Deflection. He inherited a really, really good squad. It's mad to me.
Terry, I only mentioned that because we got Patrick here who brought up the 150 that we spent last summer. Hence why I brought up this summer where Manchester United and Chelsea.
You know what?
I wasn't trying to belittle Ten Hag current achievements in winning 4 games in a row by saying you spent 200 and whatever million you spent. I'm just pointing it out. Have the same energy for those clubs also. Now, bringing it back to what you just said, nobody's actually saying we're going to finish invincible except big up Arsenal Mo, but he wasn't even referring to this season. He was saying potentially in the future he could see us doing that.
I know that. We're a bit flippant with that.
I just want to address one more thing. Manchester United. I'm not saying you guys are now going to automatically finish top 4. This is your team has turned the corner. No, you guys have won 4 games. You guys have been playing well. We've been seeing Erik ten Hag's early form. But you know what? Let's continue. This is a long season. There's going to be a lot of trials and tribulations. But from what I've seen from Erik ten Hag's Manchester United and your new signings hitting the ground running, this could be a very interesting top 4 battle because we could have 5 teams in a top 4 battle.
No, I get that.
All I'm saying is that Arsenal did a typical Chelsea performance and they got praised for it. I don't get it. I'm sorry. Chelsea held the ball really well. We pass it around the box quite well, but we don't score. Everyone says, you're boring. You don't know what you're doing. You guys need to sort it out, blah, blah, blah. Arsenal do the same thing. Oh, bloody hell. You know what? They're actually quite good, And I'm sorry, it just shows the level. It shows that you guys are you're just not there. And I know you guys have gone on a really good win streak, and it looks fantastic. But I know what's going to happen. By the end of the season, the gal's going to be fuming. That's what I just know it's going to happen. I'm watching Arsenal right now, and I see the same old Arsenal the whole time.
Main character syndrome. You always have to bring Chelsea into it somehow.
But I'm using us as an example. I'm using us as an example because we played football the same way that you did.
No,
but
you
then
don't.
you get praised for it.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
No. I'm sorry. There have been games where we pass the ball around the box and look quite good doing it, but then we don't score a goal or we don't score enough goals to win the game. And everyone says, well, you played badly. You didn't do what you went out to go and do. But when Arsenal lose 3-1 to one of their main rivals, oh no, it's fine. They play quite well.
Yeah.
NBA Jesus did a couple dribbles. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
Can I ask?
Go on, Cal.
Why is it that you feel as though so a couple of questions. Why is it you feel rival fans should put more respect on Arteta's name? And also the same energy that Man United fans are giving you guys is the same energy that Arsenal fans have been giving the rest of the league because you've won some games. But again, no disrespect to the teams you've beaten the teams that put in front of you, but none of them you'd describe as top teams. You've beaten the teams you're kind of meant to beat, but yet we've been hearing that this is a new Arsenal and this and that. Plus, wouldn't you argue Man United are in a rebuild? So really and truly, you shouldn't be getting beaten by Man United. And I know we're going to say Liverpool, we got our asses handed to us as well, but we held that. Whereas Arsenal fans, it feels as though we're just kind of trying to turn the page on it and be like, just a fluke, it's calm, we'll be back next week and we'll win the rest of our league games.
Okay. First of all, Cal, yes, we should have beat Manchester United, but going away from home to face Manchester United.
Why? Why should you have beaten Man United?
One second. Based on the run of the game, you guys deserved a win, and we lost that game fair and square. I get it, but going into the game, we were favorites. Let me reword it. And the teams that we played this season, it's not like we faced any of the top six. I hear that, but we have taken points from teams that have taken points from yourselves, from Manchester City, and from some of the other top teams in this league. So you have to respect the fact that we won our first 5 games. The reason why I say put respect on Arteta's name is because it seems like every single time we talk about Mikel Arteta, we don't talk about the transition of how he's trying to transition the team, or we don't talk about the way that things are going on the pitch. We only refer to the league finishes and the fact that he hasn't had a resume prior to coming to Arsenal. And I feel like those are the 2 things that people draw upon the most, rather than what's happening on the pitch now or how he's actually having the players performing on a regular week-to-week basis, let alone just the fact that we lost this game. Now people are bringing out.
Sorry to cut you on that one. Again, if I had £5 in my pocket and I transformed that £5 into, let's say, £100,000, or if you gave me £100,000, I turn it into £200,000, which would you say is the better business person? The one with £5 or the one with 100,000?
The one with the larger sum of money
is the better business person to start with.
No, not to start with. The one that finishes with the bigger accomplishment.
So the £5 person who starts, right?
Yes.
All right, that's my point with Arteta. We're acting like he transformed Arsenal before he even started spending money. Like, we've seen other managers transform teams before they started spending money. Arteta is meant to be playing better football because he's buying better players every summer. That just should be a normal thing. And I ask you this, and I'm not even trying to be shady, but is Arteta playing better football than, say, a Graham Potter would be playing, or someone else in his position? Because I genuinely don't think so.
Okay. Once again, I think these kind of comparisons, I get it, because Graham Potter has Brighton playing at a really good level and they're playing scintillating football. I can't answer that question. But what I can answer is what Mikel Arteta is doing everyone says with a lesser team, right? With as a lesser manager, as you guys all say, he's competing and putting himself in the same bracket as Chelsea, Tottenham, and all these other teams that have world-class managers in Conte and Thomas Tuchel, and have all these players who are world-class level. So if you have lesser players and you're a lesser manager, but you're putting yourself in the same bracket, hence why doesn't he get the respect that he deserves?
Because you competed for one season without European football, and the other teams had European football.
Exactly. And then you've now brought in Jesus and Zinchenko and good players. You've brought in players at the level that should be. Yeah, because when Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko were signed, we were told that they would start at Tottenham, they'll start at this team, they'll start at that team. So you can't be disingenuous. It can't be one thing one time and another. I would say this
before we kind of move on to some other points around this game. I want to say before we move on to some other points around this game, Arteta is never going to get the same respect as Tuchel, Klopp, or Pep or Conte until he starts winning the trophies they've won. And that's no disrespect to you know how much I praised Arsenal this year. And I'm not even like bitter about yesterday, even if you'd have won. I think you're a very good team. I think you've improved. I stand by everything I've said about Arsenal this year. It was just disappointing to see the reaction from some Arsenal fans act like I thought some people on fan cams were going to say it was a free hit, really, because we're still top. I thought that was going to come out, but you can never ask for Arteta to get the same level of respect a Champions League winning or a Premier League winning or a La Liga winning manager gets. Like, it's impossible. Like Ten Hag, I can get it. He hasn't won a league title in what you would consider one of the top 2, top 3 leagues, but he still won like back-to-back Eredivisie. He still won league titles, but I totally get your point.
He was in a Champions League semi.
Yeah.
Arteta's like, I'm sorry.
I understand that. So my pushback, even as someone who's praised Arsenal, is that Arteta doesn't deserve the respect that those managers get in terms of how well he's praised until he's achieved the same as them. The same as I will never allow a manager who's achieved less than Fergie to be put next to him, and you wouldn't allow a manager that hasn't done what Wenger's done to sit next to him. So it's exactly, and you guys, if anyone even mentions, oh, do you reckon Salah could be in the GOAT conversation? You guys spill out everything that Henry has done, and rightfully so, because he's universally accepted, really, as the Premier League's GOAT. So this works in exactly the same way with the same logic. Until Arteta starts to do what the other top managers have done, he won't be given the same level of respect as them. And that's dictated by all football fans. And I always thought that was something that was universally understood. Like, you don't do that. But